Hey gaming fans, so a while back I did a video on the Harry Potter trading card game and how long, it's no longer in print and the game really is not for sale anymore, which is a shame because it's a fun game. You could probably still get the cards, on eBay and stuff like that and through groups and stuff. But anyways, I found my deck that I played in the tournaments. This was an unbeatable deck. I went undefeated with this one for many weeks. And so I thought, hey, why not just show it off, do a little bit of a deck profile. If you're not familiar with the Harry Potter trading card game, essentially the goal is to deck out your opponent. So you don't have a life total, you just have your deck, and for every damage you take the top card off your deck and put that into the discard pile. And when you're out of cards, you lose the game. So the way this deck works is these are your potions, these are your lessons, these are what you use to pay for your cards. Kind of like in Magic, you have mana, and in Pokemon, you have energy. So in this game, you use lessons, and so the way that this deck operates is it tries to destroy your lessons. So I think the name of this deck was called like Lesson Killer deck or something like that. Anyways, let's get to it, and I'll kind of explain it. So this is your starting character, Albus Dumbledore. This is what makes this deck work. He has a pretty powerful effect that if you have at least 4 lessons in play, so at least 4 of these, anything that's got a printed power of 6 or more requires 2 less to play. So essentially it turns your high power or high casting cost spells into much cheaper spells. So it allows you to play a lot of powerful spells. And then there's another character which I actually include in the deck. You draw this guy and then you can play him. So once per game, you may make your opponent discard their hand. Then your opponent draws as many cards as he or she discarded. So the idea behind this card is if you're destroying your opponent's lessons, they're not going to be able to play spells. So they're just going to be hoarding cards in their hand. And there's no hand limit in this game. So your opponent can end up with, say, 20 cards in their hand. You can discard their hand, and now they're going to draw 20 cards, which could almost kill them. Because if you're not familiar with this game, you play with a 60-card deck. So anyways, let's get to the rest of the deck. So I play 10 Transfiguration cards. Like I said, if you play Magic or anything like that, these are like your mana. These are how you pay for your cards. And then I play 14 potions. 14 because a lot of potion cards require you to discard these from play or bounce them back to your hand. But so you need a little bit more potions because you're going to be discarding these things a lot. So that's the lessons. So let's get to the deck. So I'm playing potions and Transfiguration. So let's start with the potions. So potions do a lot of damage and healing. So for instance, Baneberry Potion, I play one of these. It's a 3 cost. You have to discard 2 of your lessons, so it is a little bit of a heftier cost on that regard. But it does 8 damage to an opponent or a creature. So I made sure that I could handle creatures with this deck because they can be pretty scary. Creatures just sit and play and damage you every single turn. So you might need to get rid of them. So there's one of those. Then I play one of the Potions Project. This card's kind of crazy. Your opponent takes damage until they discard a total of 2 lesson cards from their deck. So essentially what they're going to do is they're going to start flipping over cards from their deck into the discard pile until 2 lessons pass. Once 2 lessons pass, then this effect stops. So you never know. It could be the top 2 cards are lesson cards and those just go into the grave, or it could be 3 or 4 cards until you hit the first lesson, and then maybe another 4 or 5 cards until you hit the second lesson, which is also good because you're playing a lesson killer deck. So in this deck, or in this card, you're actually destroying them right from the deck. So then we're playing 3 of the Butterfly Weed Balm. This is just a healing spell, so you have to discard a potion from play. But then you get to shuffle 9 non-healing cards from your discard pile into your deck. So you're healing yourself by putting cards back into your deck, and you're reshuffling some of your powerful spells. So really good. There's another healing card here, Burning Bitterroot Balm. This is, again, same idea. You discard a lesson, shuffle up to 10 non-healing cards. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3 of those cards. So lots of healing going on. 1 Dragon Poison. To play this card, you return 2 of your potions in play to your hand, and then you do 10 damage to your opponent, or a creature of your choice. Again, I decided to put in more creature destruction just in case, because not everybody plays creatures in this game. So you don't want to play too many just dealing with creature spells. And then we play 4 of the Fatiguing Fusion. Now this is a pretty high cost card, 8, but because we're playing Albus Dumbledore, it reduces it to 6. So it's very manageable. And of course, this one also returns a potion to your hand, but it does 9 damage to your opponent or a creature of your choice. So again, I put in more stuff to, just in case they're playing creatures. So for the Transfiguration cards, this is where your power comes in. This is where the destruction part comes in. So we play 4 picking on Neville. This card's kind of insane. You choose, it's only costs 4, and you choose one of your opponent's cards in play, other than their starting character, of course, and then you discard it. And then your opponent can prevent this card, kind of negate it, by choosing 2 of their cards in play instead. So either way, this is going to kill something. It's either going to kill one card that you really want to get rid of, or it's going to kill 2 cards that they want to. So if they have a creature in play and you target that creature, they might decide to destroy 2 lessons instead, which would be a huge mistake against this deck. So then we got 1 Dobby's Disappearance. So you choose one of your opponent's cards in play and return it to their hand, and then you get 1 more action. So the cool thing is, like, if you haven't played this before, each turn you get 2 actions to play to do 2 things. So you can either play a lesson card, you can play 2 lesson cards using up both actions, you can play 1 lesson and play a spell, or you can play 2 spells. So in this case, you play this and then you get your action back. So you're bouncing a card back, like a lesson card, to kind of force your opponent to replay that lesson next turn. So then we're playing 4 Lost Notes. This was 5 cost. But, you know, that's pretty manageable. But you get to choose either an opponent's item, which is just a card that sits in play and does something, or a lesson and discard it. So again, most of the time I'm going to target the lessons with this card, but if they did have a scary item in play, I might get rid of that. Then we have 1 Spider's Exodus. And again, like I said, creatures can be a very scary thing against decks like these. So this one will return all creatures in play. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm destroying their lessons. So if they get a bunch of creatures out before I can destroy all their lesson cards, this will bounce them all back to their hand, and hopefully they won't have any lessons left to start casting those creatures back to the field. So this saved my neck so many times. So we're playing 4 Evency, I don't know, weird. So you get to either choose a creature or a lesson in play and discard it. So again, I would usually go after the lessons, but if there was a creature in play, I might need to get rid of that too. Or I should say instead. And this is 7, so this would actually cost 5 because of Albus Dumbledore. And that's what accelerates this deck, because if you had to wait till you had 7 in play, that would take quite a while, right? You get 2 actions a turn, that's 2 lessons you could potentially play, and then you have to wait until you get up to 7 just to play that. So Dumbledore is, again, what makes this deck work. Then we play 4 of the Defendo. This is choose one of your opponent's cards in play. Your opponent discards that card. Really good. Again, it's 8, but you know that's going to cost 6 in the end. So you can either get rid of a lesson, you can get rid of a creature, you can get rid of anything you want that's in the field, obviously other than their starting character. You can never destroy that. And then we play, this is out of order, but 1 Scribble4s. Choose 2 of your opponent's cards in play, other than their starting hand, and then they choose and discard 1 of them and return the other to the hand. So same idea. This will cost 5, and then it just deals with 2 cards bouncing back to their hand. And then the final card, which is really powerful again, Invisible Ink. You destroy 2 lessons in play, and again that's going to cost you 6. So once you get up to 6, you're going to start destroying their lessons. And like I said, you are playing with some of these healing spells to bounce or to put them back into your deck. So it's going to get really painful for your opponent. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show this off. I'm sure there's there's groups out there that exist. I know on Facebook and stuff like that. If you're interested in this game and you want to try and pick up some cards, you could probably pick up the cards on eBay and stuff. And, you know, I'm sure if you search for them, you could probably find them. Really fun game. It's a shame that the game got discontinued. It was originally by Wizards of the Coast, and I guess they just wanted to focus more on Magic or something. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Throw some comments down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Always happy to answer them. And hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.